Hi everyone, welcome to MBA Reacts to SEI.
And healthcare!
So I'm Agatha. My professional background's mainly in media and entertainment, but I also did a stint as a Marcom director at a nonprofit in Indonesia. And I am also the VP of the SEI Club. For those who don't know, SEI stands for Sustainability, Ethics, and Impact. And it is one of the coolest clubs in the NUS MBA community.
Along with Sandbox Club, by the way. Yeah.
Sure, yay. Okay, Panida?
Yeah, so I'm Panida and I used to work in medical device industry. I have a healthcare background and I'm currently doing a PhD MBA program which is a double degree, and my PhD is still in healthcare, which is diagnostic area.
Right. Hi guys, I'm Aniket. I worked in manufacturing operations across India and Thailand, and I worked in mainly prefab building materials. So not really SEI or healthcare, but I am interested in both these fields, so as to say.
Yeah, I heard you're dabbling in these fields now in this second semester.
Yep. So before the MBA, I wasn't really aware much about sustainability or SEI at large. And also healthcare, I mean like healthcare, whenever I thought about healthcare, it'd be like doctors and nurses, right? But coming to the MBA, there's a lot more to a healthcare than at first I thought. And so dabbling, did my intensive course in sustainability strategy last week, so Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Wow.
And it was intense, I would say, but yeah, learned a lot.
That's why they call it an intensive module, yes.
Right. So yeah, learned a lot on sustainability and like how quickly the world is changing, and also like the policies that are taken by the world leaders, how it impacts sustainability at large. And in healthcare, I'm doing my MCP. So for those of you who don't know, we have this 4-credit module on management consulting project, and I'm doing my MCP at Queenstown Polyclinic. So it's in a healthcare field. So yeah, so I'm trying to explore new avenues, being healthcare and sustainability.
But how do you feel about it like so far?
I mean, we've just started our project at the polyclinic, and in terms of, so I worked in operations, right? I worked in production and operations. I see things in the lenses of like how processes move, how people move, and looking into this project that we're doing, I do feel at home at some points because I see people coming to the clinic, patients coming in, there's a churn rate, people going to the counter, then they move to another process. So it's like products moving through different sort of functions, right, or different departments, assembly, then manufacturing, cleaning, so like I see healthcare sometimes through that lens. And in terms of sustainability, I guess we can bring in parts of sustainability to every job function, be it finance, there's sustainability finance, manufacturing as well, we use more sustainable goods, green goods, not greenwashing by the way, but yeah, that's a new term I learned, right, yesterday, yeah? So, I mean like last week, so yeah, in terms of how I'm finding it's not completely like a new field where I'm lost, I'm at loss of words, or like I can't think where to go next. It's just using my past experience in a new industry where the norms might be different, there are different stipulations, but at the end of the day, we are trying to move or get a service to the customers or get a product to the customers, right? Using sustainable practices and giving good health to the public at large.
Yeah, actually I totally agree that like healthcare is just an industry, right? But in terms of business operation and everything, it can be plugged in together with healthcare. Like it's not only about like doctor and nurses who have their specialization, but the business operation has to be there to like function all the hospitals and all like pharmaceuticals or medical device business as well.
Yeah, I think what you were saying is just a great example about how transferable your skills are within one industry into sustainability and healthcare, because people have this like thinking, or at least some people I found have this thinking like, oh, like sustainability and healthcare are just very much like siloed industry. Like, oh, like you either have to be fully in it or you have to, make your way up, or like there's no way to pivot to that. There's no way to apply that knowledge, whatever knowledge you have into these two industries, which I feel like, I mean, as VP of the SEI Club, I want to prove that wrong, I guess, to our fellow NUS MBA students, because sustainability and healthcare are very much relevant industries, like to society at large, and in our daily lives as well.
Definitely, I agree. Yeah.
So could you tell me like what moved you to like dabble in sustainability and healthcare? Through the intensive module, like what made you sign up for that module? Because you said it's a very intensive learning process that you just went through last week.
Right. So one of the driving factors would be the professor, Lawrence Lowe. So he's a well-known name in this industry, and he's got a lot of publications. And his social media or media presence is quite well known as well. So I just wanted to learn from a person who's well versed in this industry, not only theoretically, but he's also got lots of publications. And he's in touch with a lot of industry leaders. So we had a few guest speakers, and two of them, ironically, were Shell and Boeing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So very. From the outside, it looks like very non-sustainable companies, right? One produces oil, and natural gas, and the other is uses the oil and natural gas. So, but yeah, they are moving in a very sustainable direction, and getting to know those industry insights from the people themselves, from the leadership themselves, has really sort of opened my eyes. And looking through that, that's why I chose this intensive.
Yeah, I mean, the Center for Governance and Sustainability, that's his think tank, right? It is a very influential think tank when it comes to sustainability and governance in Southeast Asia in general, and I believe to an extent Asia Pacific. So we're very grateful to have him here at NUS, really. So Panida, I want to ask, what was like the initial reaction among, I wouldn't say not necessarily just our cohort, but like NUS MBA people when you introduce yourself to them for the first time and you say, oh, I'm doing my PhD, I'm in healthcare. Like, what was the reaction that you got?
Oh, most of them will say, wow, you're so smart, which is not true, actually. But we're just like normal people, like just doing a specialization in something. But outside of our specialization, we're not good at all, So that's why we're here in the MBA to learn more about other things outside our field as well. Yeah. And I think that's another reason why I chose to do like the double degree program, because I feel like today, right, if we want to push the research or science that we develop in the lab outside for commercialization, then it's not enough, because we only know technical, but we don't know what the user needs, what the market is like. And then this MBA can help me in terms of like getting to know what are outside of our industry as well. Yeah.
Right. I think that falls into sustainability as well, right? So the practices, all the scopes, how to improve the world. But if you don't sell it to the right people, if you don't sell the idea to the leaders of the world, there's not much change you can make. I mean, sure, you can reduce your own carbon footprint, but that's a fraction of a fraction, right? So selling that idea and coming to the MBA, like learning how to sell your product, your service, your ideas is a huge skill to have. So kudos to you. And like the time management of yours should be like impeccable, right?
Oh yeah. So we learn how to like manage things, right, in a more effective way. Because even only MBA, I know that you guys are also very busy, right? Yeah. So it's like another skill that you can get from this program as well.
And you're the only person in the cohort doing this double degree.
Yeah, the only one. Usually only one person per year.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Agatha? What makes you interested in impact and SEI?
I think it first started with, I guess, my involvement in the nonprofit. Actually, even before that, I've always been involved in community service in some way. But when I was holding that leadership position within that nonprofit, that's when I realized, actually, this is not a very sustainable model. As a normal volunteer, you just don't think about that stuff, right? They tell you what to do and you do it, and then you feel good about yourself for a bit. But yeah, in the leadership position, you're like, thinking about like grants and donations and revenue streams and what comes in and what goes out, And then that's when I began exploring like impact investing. That's when I began exploring social enterprises, and that's what got me interested in going to B school. because I'm like, I want to find a more sustainable way of doing good in the world, and also at the same time tying my career to a purpose, which I feel like would give me, like more stamina, I guess, and longevity in doing what I want to do, and the whole mushy thing about legacy and impact and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Can I ask something about the impact? Because the reason why I chose to do healthcare, right? Because I also want to create impact to the patient or to improve like our health and like wellness as well.
Yeah.
How does that like be related to the impact in SEI? Is there any relationship between these two impacts?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Because okay. How do I say this in a politically correct way? Okay.
It's okay.
No, I believe healthcare can stand to do a lot of good in society. It has done a lot of good in society, and I believe a part of what you do, or actually what you do, period, is impact work. That's what I believe in. Because sometimes people think like, again, the silos within the industry. It's like, oh, this is impact, this is not impact. A lot of what you do is, a lot of what we do, what we think as ordinary business is actually impact. Like over the Christmas break, I went and had a coffee chat with someone who's currently working at a social impact consulting firm. And they say, oh, one of their most successful, okay, not clients, but I guess mentees, is just a small business that started in like some small town in Java, and what they do is they export fruit to Europe. That's just their business model. They just export fruit to Europe. But then they actually they create impact from that work by hiring local farmers, by educating like villagers on like, this is good agricultural practice, this is sustainable agricultural practice, this is how you make your products last longer, and in a way they create impact through like better quality of life for the local village itself, but also like higher income for the farmers. They can send their kids to school, they can feed their family. I mean, that's impact work essentially. So it doesn't have to be something so siloed, like discovering a renewable source of energy that requires millions of dollars of work. It's not always like that.
Yeah, actually everything can be impactful.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I have a question for both of you, since you're from these two fields.
Yeah.
How do you see the MBA differently, you would say, than someone who's not in this field? So healthcare. Also, like, you see this MBA in a way that you want to use these skills in a more transferable way in your industry, or are you looking to pivot to another industry, both of you?
Okay, I go first. I think you then go first. I was talking for a long time.
Yeah. So for me, I want to leverage the MBA skills based on my previous industry, which is healthcare. Yeah, because I know myself that I want to do my own business, and I also have a passion in healthcare to improve like patients' life. Yeah, so I feel like doing MBA, right, not only giving me the business skills where I can like plug in with my technical skills, but also give me an opportunity to like meet other people in other different healthcare fields as well. Because I'm like biomedical engineer, right? But actually healthcare is very broad. Because we have like doctor, nurses, and we also have friends from pharma industry, which is totally different. Everything like in terms of like marketing, management, operation, all different. Yeah. So it's kind of like seeing the industry itself more broadly, and also gain some like business technical skill, like fundamental skills that you need, like financial, operation, marketing, to leverage your healthcare background as well. Yeah.
Alright. So the end game would be a business of your entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, right? Exactly.
Nice. What were you having fun?
I think I'm similar in Panida in that way, that I think my end game is entrepreneurship. Just because I'm just like looking at my family history. No one ends up working in corporate their whole lives.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So I was like, I just know at some point I am gonna create my own business. But when it comes to the MBA, I feel like I did come to MBA with like one of my top goals was to widen my perspective, right? To find out really like what's out there, because the job market stuff, it's always changing, right? Like it's definitely different from when I started undergrad versus when I finished undergrad versus now. And I'm happy to say that I'm actually learning a lot, not just from like our cohort, but also like the program office, biz career, they have helped me like explore opportunities that I had no idea about before. Like, oh, this type of job exists. I was like, okay, no, this is so cool, where I can just combine like what I want to do, and at the same time like, oh, making this a viable career track, for me going forward. Yeah. How about you?
So so I come from a very different field from both of you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted the MBA for, not just, but for a broad array of reasons. But yeah, basically the business fundamentals, as you mentioned, Panida, getting a more holistic idea of how to run a business, what a business is. Because I was very sort of manufacturing, operations focused person, right? Now I'm getting like the soft skills of like interacting with people, like networking with people, along with hard skills from finance, accounting, and operations and all that. But yeah, ultimately would be to stay in, like my end game would be to stay in the same field. But like I'm getting to experience a lot of different industries, like I'm doing the MCP in healthcare, sustainability was the intensive. So I'm still trying to broaden my horizons, and I'm not gonna pin myself down into like a silo and like I'm gonna work in this industry forever. So yeah, MBA is really helping me do that and experience different things. So I can't say that I'll be working in this industry for sure, but yeah, in the same like domain, I would be in operations going forward.
Okay, you'll be in operations, but you'll come back to operations as like a new person.
Yeah, in a new person, in a new
A better
industry.
person.
A better person.
Of course.
Right. Right. So I have a question for you two. Both of you are from the NUS MBA club system, ecosystem. You're from SEI club. You're the vice president of the SEI club, and you're a co-member of the healthcare club. So, looking into how people view the MBA clubs, the three most subscribed, I would say, is consulting, finance, and probably entrepreneurship. In terms of that, like, how would you explain to people who are looking to do an MBA? What does the SEI club do, and what does healthcare club do? What have you done so far, and what are you known as? Like, how do you help people in the cohort?
I guess I can start a little bit first. So for this year, our goal as SEI Club is to demystify the concept of SEI to our cohort, like our batchmates, I guess one would term it that way. And I think we are in active progress of doing that. When we reach out to guest speakers or like facilitators, we always try to make sure like, oh, these are people who are working in very much relevant industries to our cohort. For example, we hosted like a fireside chat with entrepreneurs who are working in like a field that's related to SEI. So for example, we invited an entrepreneur who's active in the reuse movement. We invited someone who opened a cafe but made sure that the employment opportunity is equal to marginalized communities as well. And I think that these events have gotten a positive reaction from our cohort so far, at least as far as I know. You were there. Thank you for being an avid supporter of SEI Club. Yeah. So I think that's what we have done so far. How about Healthcare Club?
So for healthcare, right, as I mentioned, it's not just an industry, but it can be like plugged in with another function in business. So we are trying to show our cohort that how can healthcare be immersed into your technical specialization. For example, we have a healthcare in VC event, which you require not only the healthcare knowledge but also finance background, right? And we invite people from the industry to talk and share the experience or how they pivot from one side to the other side. And yeah, not only the healthcare VC, we also have startup entrepreneurship in healthcare, which doesn't require only healthcare as well, right? Also another thing, yeah.
Interesting, right? Alright. Thanks for having us, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also follow us on LinkedIn. And watch for something exciting coming from Sandbox Club. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye!